Well, first of all, thank you for having me tonight. It's an honor for me to be here. These trade packs that we do that he was talking about, we've done several in Honduras, in Mexico, with several states in Mexico, in China, Philippines. There's probably about 30 different packs that we have in the last 36 years. And these have all been done because of trade, because creating business. And not opportunities for, we don't see it as the other countries, but we see it as an opportunity for us, for the Latino business community. So I'm going to start by saying that this is exciting. Y no voy a hablar mucho español, lo voy a hacer en inglés. But this is very exciting for me to be here. Why? Because it's the first annual dinner. And the Latin Business Association has been in existence for 36 years. We're actually having our dinner this Thursday, which if anybody wants to attend, you can be my guest. You don't have to pay, okay? So, my board was telling me, Ruben, how are you going to travel this weekend right before our dinner? Because I coordinate everything, just like Frances. So I know exactly what Frances is going through. She's very stressed. But it's okay, everything turned out good. So, they were telling me, why are you doing this? Why? Because I've been invited by Frances. She came to the LBA about, I believe about a month ago. She was in Los Angeles and she came to see me, wanting to know what more can we do for our community? What more can I do at the North Shore Latino Business Association? And I gave her a lot of tips, and I think we're going to be working a lot together because there's a lot that can be done here. I mean, a lot of the small businesses here, you have no idea the power that you have. No idea. In California, almost every corporation works with the Latin Business Association. Why? Because we're the fastest growing community. Not just in California, but in the United States. We're the fastest growing. So corporate America wants to be part of what's going on. What are you doing? There's no reason why Bank of America, Wells Fargo, the utility companies here, the state, the cities should not be working with you, creating opportunities in diversity. So over there, all these corporations work with us. They have goals, and their goals are 20 to 30% minority inclusion in contracts. So that means those corporations over there are national. A lot of them are national. So there's no reason why those opportunities can't be done right here in North Shore and the whole region. It's knocking on the door and knowing how to do it. I know that there's a lot of small businesses here tonight. There's a lot of small businesses. But think about this, and I was talking last night about this. If you have a market, I think you guys call them bodegas, right? Allá le decimos changarritos. En México son changarritos. So you have a bodeguita, and you already buy toilet paper and towels, and you buy that already for the store to sell to the public, correct? So, why not buy in quantities to sell the toilet paper to Bank of America? Or sell the toilet paper to the city? Or see, you have to expand your mind when it comes to how can I grow my business? Don't stay stuck in the small business. Think big. Think big. Because the people and the businesses that think big become big. You know, as I was as growing up, I can remember I used to go with my father, we used to drive to Bakersfield, which is probably about 2 hours from Los Angeles. And we used to drive to Bakersfield. 3 o'clock in the morning, I used to go with him in the summer and to go pick sandías and naranjas and whatever we could sell. So I used to do that all the time. I did that for like 4 years, 5 years in the fields. And then we used to go out and sell in the streets. And I used to be the one on top of the truck gritando, sandías, sandías, sandías. And that's what I used to do when I was a kid. And from there I graduated to collecting cans and newspaper and cardboard. So I've been an entrepreneur all my life. So I used to do that because my father was an immigrant and he didn't have papers, so he couldn't find a job. My mom, with 8 children, and I was the oldest son, so I had to help somehow. And yes, she had to be on welfare, which she didn't enjoy. I said, someday, Mom, you're not gonna have to do that. We're gonna make enough money so that you don't have to do that. And about 7, 8 years later, she did get off it. She got a job. My dad ended up getting his papers. He got a job. But I always did this. And even in high school, I was still collecting cans and going out after I did my homework and going out and picking in the trash and anything I could do to make money to help my family. And I didn't care that everybody was making fun of me, my friends, hey, trash picker. I didn't care about that. Guess what? I had an obligation to help my family. La familia, it's about the familia. And a lot of you business owners know that the familia needs to help and support. It's important to a lot of us business owners that the familia is supporting you and helping and we're all working together. So what I did is I got my first real job when I was 16 years old, and it used to be, I don't know if they're still around here, but I know they're not around anymore. They become Rite Aids. They used to be Thrifty, so I used to scoop the ice cream in Thrifty, right? I was the ice cream guy. And I did that for a while, and then went into other little jobs, custodian and here and there. But the biggest thing is that I never gave up. As hard as it was, I never gave up. And as hard as it was growing up where I grew up with the gangs and the drugs and all that, believe me, it was pretty, it wasn't the best neighborhood where I grew up. So I had a chance to do that life, or I had a chance to just keep doing what I'm doing and trying to work and for my family and to help my mom. And so I kept pushing on and I kept pushing on. So I had to drop out of high school. In the 11th grade, I dropped out of high school. Why? Because I had to work. I had to work to help to support the family. And why am I telling you this part of my life? You know, sometimes I used to think it was embarrassing for me to tell people that I dropped out of high school. I didn't graduate. But why should it be embarrassing if I'm standing here in front of the people as a leader of the largest organization in California? We represent over 800,000 Latino businesses. I travel to DC. I work with congressional members. I work with legislators in different states. I travel to Mexico. I've traveled everywhere, all over the world. And I didn't go to college. So what does that tell you? If you went to college, and I know there's a lot of graduates in here, you went to university, guess what? You can do anything you want. You can do anything you want if you work hard at it. And like a businessman, I said, everybody used to tell me, you know, my high school dean, when I dropped out of school, he told me, Ruben, you're gonna end up dead or in jail. Those are the two options that the dean of the school told me when I dropped out of school. And I went to like 6 different high schools. So I wasn't the nicest guy. Okay? I went to 6 different high schools. But I saw this dean again about when I was 24 years old, 25 years old. I saw him at a restaurant. And I said, that's him. So I went up to him. I was in a suit. I had just started my business. I started my own business at 21. I started a packaging company at 21 years old. And I worked it for about 11 years and then I sold it. So I saw him there and I went up to him and I said, Mr. Martinez. And he looked at me and says, Ruben? And he remembered me. And I said, yes, it's me. He goes, wow, what are you doing now? Well then, I had 3 different companies, and I was already on the board of the LBA as a board member. So I told him everything I was doing. He looked at me and said, do you remember what I told you? And I told him, yes, I remember very clearly what you told me. He goes, yeah, I told you you would end up dead or in jail. And I said, yeah, and that stood with me. That stood with me, and I said, I'm gonna prove him wrong. But I told him, don't ever do that to anybody again, and that's not good. to tell somebody you're going to end up in jail or dead, because you know what, they might just think that, and that's their path. It's always about encouraging our youth. It's always about encouraging ourselves. It's about being positive. And now, every year I go to speak at his school, to his students. He's a principal at a school now, at a junior high school. And they have a expo, and they bring in people from fire department, police. And I'm always a speaker to his kids about staying in school, something I didn't do. But I went back and I did get my GED, and I was proud of that. I got my GED. I was proud of it. And actually now, I'm looking at going back to school to get a degree, because I feel like, you know, I speak at all these universities in California and different schools, and I speak to the students about always encouraging them to stay in school. Always. It's important. Because I had it hard, and I'm a rare case, but there's a lot of you who might have the same case as me. So as you can see, if you don't give up, then things happen. Things happen for a reason. I didn't give up. And along the way, people said, you can't do it. I said, yes, I can. My board, I come up with ideas, and they think I'm crazy. They said, Ruben, that's too much. We can't do it. I said, you're part of this board because we could do it. There's never I can't with the business owners that I talk to. And today I speak to many business owners. I always have my door open to them, to help them, to connect them. How can we get them more business? I mean, right now, there's a whole, since the economy just been stagnant, just been normal, hasn't gone up, hasn't gone down, but it's okay. And there's a lot of business owners now, now coming on board and wanting to see how can we help them? What can we do for them? How can we connect them? We've created programs where right now we got investors from Mexico that just with a business plan, we're getting investments for business owners. Or if you need a partner, we're getting anywhere between $100 to $1 million just on a plan. Where does that exist? It doesn't. It doesn't. So we're helping our business owners that way. And we have to be creative. So there's a lot of opportunity here. In this room, there's a lot of opportunity. And I'm going to be working very hard from LA with Francis and the people here to make sure that those opportunities that we have over there with those corporations, the same corporations need to open the door for you here. And I want to be invited 36 years from now, when you're 36 years old, okay, I might be walking up with a cane, but I want to, if I'm still around, I want to be invited and see this organization growing to where you represent the whole state of Massachusetts and the Latino business community, and you bring everybody on board. This isn't about just this group. This is about walking into an opportunity, and like Michelle said, you open the door and you leave the door open for the other ones to come through. That's what we need to do as a community. So I'll end with this. I know that we have to make up time. They told me earlier like 15. I told them, no, I have 7, but but we're cutting it short. So I'll end with this. Think big. Don't stay where you're at. There is no box. You know, everybody says think out of the box. Well, you know, I don't think out of the box anymore, and I tell all my members, and every time I speak to people, I say there is no box for us. We're the fastest growing community. We're the fastest growing votes that our legislators need in the United States. We will make a difference in the presidential elections. We will. We will determine who gets elected. So the power of voting, the power of doing business, the power of becoming bigger than what you are now. It's all in your hands. Take advantage of it, because it could only happen here in the U.S. Take advantage of it. Thank you all for having me, and we'll see you again soon.